A prayer that I pray as often as I can remember to. In the morning, I pray, Lord, I love you and I am in love with you, and I want to love you more tonight at bedtime than I do right now. And so I was walking around this morning, had my coffee, and looking out the window. It's raining, and I was watching raindrops hit uh, the ground outside on the patio, and there's a lot of water, and it was creating, like when water hits a pond, the little rings, ever expanding, grow outward. That reminded me of the mathematical number, reoccurring number 3.1459 pi. And not that I'm a mathematical wonder by any stretch of anyone's imagination, but that number means a lot to me. I have made some handmade things and have used that number to determine uh, the radius of a circle, and with that information, I can determine the overall circumference. Or I could start from the circumference, work backward to determine the radius of the circle. So if you're sewing something, and you're using triangles to create a circle, you can use pi to determine uh, the dimensions of your triangle. Otherwise, it's going to be a funky circle if you don't have the right measurement for your triangles. I mention this because this morning, as I looked out the window and I saw, it was raining pretty good, and I saw all these thousands of drops of water making all these little circles, it reminded me of Genesis 1:1. And you may ask, that's really odd. Well, it's not odd. It's awesome. There is he's passed away, he's in heaven now, but Dr. Chuck Missler, I got one of his books right here. He was on the Apollo 11 ground control team in Houston when Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Mike Collins were on their way to the moon and on the moon, and then on their way back till splashdown. That was July 1969. And his role was guidance. And you can listen to the recordings and you can hear this guy's voice talking to flight, how to triangulate their location using two fixed points in the universe to determine their latitude and longitude on the moon, to help them determine their trajectory for takeoff, so that Eagle could link back up with Columbia in orbit. That's a mouthful, but that's what Chuck Missler did as part of the Apollo 11 ground control. And he went on to do other stuff. But as a hobby, as a math man, since he was a little guy, he loved math and was gifted at it. And so he took his mathematical mind and talents, and he loved the Word of God. And he says, and he's made a lot of videos. There's videos, learn the Bible in 24 hours with Chuck Missler, and he'll go through the entire Bible in 24 hours in 24 1-hour sessions. It is so rich, man. But one of the most, I think, pivotal verses in his life that really captured his mathematical, analytical disposition was Genesis 1:1. And I'll explain why briefly as I can. In the Hebrew, as well as the Greek, the language has every letter has a I lost my spot. Every letter has a number associated with it. So I'm going to hold it up here. So all that is right there is it's showing Greek and Hebrew letters and the associated numbers with it. That's just how that language is structured. In Hebrew, the letter Aleph, that's A. equals the number 1. Bet equals the number 2. Interestingly, Aleph Bet, that's where we get the word alphabet. It comes from the Hebrew. So Aleph in Hebrew is the number 1, equals the number 1. Bet equals the number 2. On down to 900. The numbers really jump up. Once you get to 10, then they go up in value by tens. Anyway, Greek is the same way. So, what's the point of all this? How does this tie in with Genesis 1:1? Well, if you take, let's say, I got it right here. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. You take all those letters in the Hebrew and you write out that verse. And underneath every letter, write the number correlating with that letter. And then you add up all of those numbers, and then you divide them by the sum of the letters in that verse. And you get 3.14. Is it 3.1459? 3.1416 times 10 to the what? I can't see that. Old man problems. 3.1416 times 10 to the 17th in Genesis 1:1. And so this is why I'm so dang excited this morning. I mean, I just prayed, Lord, help me love you more by bedtime tonight. And then when in seconds I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing water drops hit the ground and the expanding circles going out from it. And it reminds me of pi. And I'm thinking in the beginning was in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And every time a drop of water hits a body of water, a raindrop hits a body of water, it creates a circle. Genesis 1:1. Anytime you see an arc from a wave or on a cloud, Genesis 1:1. Pi is everywhere around us. So in the rainstorm happening right now, it's lightened up a little bit. But, I mean, I'm looking at raindrops right now out in the puddles outside on the highway or the roadside. And I just looked at probably 1,000 testimonies to Genesis 1:1. And you can pray, God, where are you in my life? Well, if you're in Washington State, he's all around you constantly, billions of times a day because of the raindrops. And here in Texas, in the rainy season, it's similar. So I don't know if I've captured that joy for you to digest, but pi, 3.1416 times 10 to the 17th. Every time you see a drop of water, the number pi is right there. Pi is used to determine the radius or circumference of a circle. Every time you see a circle, you're looking at Genesis 1:1 on display. And God did that by design to show us his love and care and how his fingerprints are on creation all around us. It just makes me love the Lord more.